Hello guys, we're here at Gen Con 50 with Colby Dauch, Plaid Hat Games founder and studio manager. Colby, thank you so much for being here.
Hey,
it's
thank
awesome.
you. I really appreciate it.
Last time we met up with you, Ashes, I think, had just released and we were blown away by it. Been a couple of years since then. What's been going on at Plaid Hat Games?
Well, we got acquired twice since then.
Nice.
so there's a lot of transition stuff. We've been kind of quiet for the last year or so, but Gen Con's kind of our big coming out party,
nice.
Where we show we've been quietly working in the background the whole time, and we have a few new products that we are launching or announcing here at the show.
So it seems like you spent a lot of time kind of on the foundational elements of the company, getting all of that ironed out, and now you're ready to start pumping things down the pipeline.
Yeah, well, and we've been working on those things in the background, changing some stuff around how soon we announce games, wanting to make a big announcement all at once here at Gen Con, and
nice.
So that's why, we're here doing these kinds of press events.
So tell us, what do we have? What's going on?
So the first thing I'll tell you about is Stuffed Fables. So Stuffed Fables is our next game from Jerry Hawthorne. So if you know Mice and Mystics, Jerry Hawthorne is the man behind Mice and Mystics, and so this is his next product. And what's really cool about Stuffed Fables is it's this adventure in a book. So you actually play on the book itself, and it tells you like the rules for that, how that's different, and it even has like little sections of story. And depending on the choices you make, you might jump around to different various sections and read those, or if you explore some of these eyeballs, it'll take you over and you'll read what you see there or what you encounter there.
That's a really extensive game.
Yeah, and it's really cool. The other cool thing about putting it in this book is like each environment is different. We don't have a tile set to work from. We have 104 pages to work from. So you really get to go all over, and Stuffed Fables is this fantastic journey where you are this little girl's stuffed animals, and as her stuffed animals, here's one of the little figures. This is Piggle, and this is his battle rattle, and this is a play clay lid that he uses as a shield. But you're these little girl stuffed animals, and you're tasked with protecting her from the monsters that come out from under the bed at night. And so the story opens up with it's her first big girl bed. So your little girl is no longer protected by the magic of the crib. She's in a big girl bed, and your true task has now started. And through some mishaps, you end up on the first night being sucked into the portal under the bed that leads to this realm that's ruled by the demagogue, the Nightmare King. And he rules over his people, and it's this land of really lost and broken toys that he's oppressing. And so you meet a lot of the denizens there, and you get wrapped up into their story, and ultimately have these tasks you have to do before your little girl wakes up, and you have to get back up to the bedroom before she wakes up, the book kind of takes you through these milestone events in your little girl's life. So first night's the big girl bed. The next time you encounter her is a year or two later, and it's her first time sleeping without a diaper. And so,
wow, this is one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, and you take her through 10 years old and really, kind of see her come into her own as a child.
Was this inspired by like fatherhood?
Yeah, exactly. So Jerry's a father, and his kids are just becoming teenagers, and so you can the heart's really in there. Each chapter ends with some talking points to really get you talking with your kids about kind of the lessons you learned, or what you to really get you to come together and talk about, because each story has a lesson to tell, as well as being like this epic adventure, and that's why we're calling it, Stuffed Fables.
And is this designed to be played kind of with a family setting, or can me and some friends get around and play Stuffed Fables?
So, families, it's going to shine with families because we really tried to make it approachable, but the game system is something gamers are going to enjoy. It's still,
nice.
When I say families, I'm talking about a gamer with his kids.
Yes.
But if you're into Mice and Mystics, if you're into those whimsical kind of stories that are going to go, all over the place, this is perfect for your game group as well.
Amazing. That sounds truly great. I'm happy to hear about this. What else is Plaid Hat doing at the con?
So what else we're doing is we're announcing. Oh, I'm sorry. This goes to you. This goes to him. So another game that we've announced recently and that we're demoing for the first time here at the con is Crystal Clans. So Crystal Clans is a 2-player head-to-head card game, which I know is your guys'
Summoner
bread and
Wars
butter.
kind of a thing.
So yeah, actually the reason it's a first-time designer, but the reason why the game kind of found its way to me is different people in the industry had a chance to play it, and they kind of passed it on to me. So it's a deck of cards, and there's units in it. You bring them out on the board, you move them around, but it's got a lot of its own unique elements. So. It's got this initiative system, and you pay for everything with initiative. So as you're summoning out cards, you're pushing this initiative marker more deeper into your opponent's side of the initiative line, and then as they do something, they push it into yours. It becomes your turn when you push it past a certain point. And then they get to respond. So the more you do on your turn, the more you're giving your opponent to do on their turn. That's the cost.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's really neat system.
Is it also a positioning style game?
Yeah, so you actually want to control 2 crystal zones, and I can show you the board if you want to walk over there.
Yeah,
it might be
let's
easier
check it
to
out.
explain.
Sure.
So you're trying to control 2 crystal zones. There's 3 of them on the board, and when you control 2, you can buy a crystal. But those have big costs, so you're really gonna push it into your opponent's side when you do that. So some of the other interesting things is instead of moving 1 unit around the board at a time, you can stack them up into groups of 3, and the order of those groups are really important. Whoever's on top is going to take damage first, and whoever's on top, that's the only ability that's activated. So when you activate your units, you can rearrange those. I need this ability right now,
cool.
Or I want my defensive guy all the way on top, or things like that, or maybe somebody's got a big expensive stack of cards that are really powerful, but it takes a lot to activate them. Well, I'll just send a weenie in and tie them up. That guy's going to die, but I'll tie him up. Well, they're going to have to spend some activation to kill him. And meanwhile, I'll then use that activation they're spending on my turn to counter.
Perfect.
So there's lots of really cool strategies that result from that, and the game keeps moving fast. You need 4 crystals to win, and every time you run out of deck and you have to reshuffle, that's the other way that you get a crystal. Your opponent gets a crystal if you have to reshuffle.
You run out of deck. Use too many cards.
Yeah, and we even utilize that. So there's 6 clans in the base set, and they're all different strategies.
Cool.
So one of the ways you can do is you might have a sneaky faction that can invade your opponent's home zone. If they get back into your opponent's home zone, all the factions can attack the opponent's deck, and you start to mill it off.
Okay.
So there's a really number of cool mechanics in this game.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't ask. I know that I saw some of the new Ashes boxes over there.
Yes.
So we've got them. The new Ashes boxes are officially here.
They're here. So we had a really long delay in Ashes.
Yeah.
And that's because we came out with these deluxe boxes. They had dice in them, and that delayed production, and then they need to be translated to these other languages, and so and then the acquisition and all this, so they got pushed back. But they're coming out soon. And then they'll be followed up with more expansions, because those other expansions did get delayed. So you'll see it's kind of a quick catch-up in expansions.
Okay.
So if you're an Ashes player, you'll get a chance to catch up. We'll make right on that delay.
Great.
With a lot of cool new stuff.
And then it'll be kind of the back to normal on the release schedule.
Right, yeah, with the OP support, of course, that Asmodee can bring to bear.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about resparking, Ashes for everybody, and really, getting product out to people in the quantities that the demand is asking.
And you've got more Dead of Winter too, right? I saw some Dead of Winter over there.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So if we want to walk over there, that's a cool thing to talk about too.
Yeah.
Today we've released the base game, Dead of Winter. We released Dead of Winter: The Long Night, which was more of everything you like about Dead of Winter, plus some modules where you could add some different things in. And now, for the first time at this show, you can get Dead of Winter: Warring Colonies, which is more of everything you want, right? But also it's got a module that lets you take the original Dead of Winter and Dead of Winter: Long Night and play this epic game of 2 colonies at war with one another.
Wow.
So you have to you share the same locations, so you're going into locations, they're going into locations, you're competing for resources, you all have your own secret objectives within this, and it just creates this epic game that you can play up to 10 players, and there's a sand timer involved to keep everybody moving, and it's this really tense, you build up this hatred for the other colony kind of story that, and it really took dead of winter to another place where we could tell like some new stories that we hadn't told yet about conflict and war.
Very cool. Anything else while we're here that we should know about?
Yeah, I should show you a sneak preview that we have at the show for Isaac Vega's next game. So y'all are a fan of Ash's.
Oh yeah.
This is Isaac's next game. It's called Starship Samurai. It looks awesome. It's going to be awesome. Let me show you that.
Yeah.
It's the first time you can see it.
Let's grab it.
So this is Starship Samurai, and we're showing it here for the first time. And you can see it's this fusion between feudal Japanese style and sci-fi. You are the 4 major clans in the Lotus Galaxy, and you want to be the next emperor, the next galactic emperor. And so you're bringing your clan's force to bear, both politically and militarily, and you're fighting over these epic locations, these really cool planets.
Those models look amazing.
And it's beautiful. Isaac does the art direction for his own games, and some of the art in this is so gorgeous. We're really in love with how these miniatures came out. Really excited about this one.
And has the development come along far enough where you can tell me one kind of defining feature of the gameplay?
So I'll have to tell you a couple. All right. So one of the things that's kind of unique. There's a lot of games with action symbols where like, oh, I'm gonna do 1 action at a time. I'm gonna have 4 actions. This one puts a little bit of a twist on it, and that you have a 1, 2, 3, and 4 action. They're labeled as such, and you get to choose in which order you're gonna spend them. But when I spend my 4 action, I get to do that thing 4 times, whatever action I'm doing. 3 action, I get to do that thing 3 times. And so each round, how I want to utilize those things is really interesting. Like, am I going to move masses of troops? Am I going to go and gain wealth? Am I going to secure an alliance? So there's all these things, and then there's these action cards that are kind of the bread and butter of the game, and how you play them, can really come into like the vital strategies. So these action cards will have different costs, like the wealth, or it might cost you honor, which is the victory points, or ships, to do these cool things. Like maybe I have like one samurai mech that's alone in a location and he's surrounded by enemies, but I have the samurai's last stand card, and I play it, and he's able to do a bunch of damage to these guys as his last stand as he dies. So there's all sorts of thematic cool. So it's a really clever game system. It's really tight and easy to teach and learn. But it's got a lot of depth and a lot of theme infused into that system.
So I noticed with Stuffed Fables and Crystal Castles, is that what it's called?
Crystal Clans.
Crystal Clans. So there's a definite difference. It's a much more approachable, friendly, kind of cartoony almost art style. And then then you have Starship Samurai, you have Ashes, you have all this different spread. Tell me about kind of the strategy or philosophy for Plaid Hat, besides like developing games that aren't just targeting the same old kind of tropes. Like this kind of Stuffed Fables style is amazing, and that's like not done very often in the board game space. So is that intentional?
Absolutely. So, if we have a unifying factor as a company, I would say it's not just about telling stories, because there are a number of companies that do games that tell stories, but really telling stories about characters. Like, we really try to bring the characters in our story to the storefront. And then as far as like seeing the disparateness amongst Stuffed Fables and Starship Samurai, Plaid Hat Games is its people. And so Jerry Hawthorne has, kind of one take of viewing the world, and Isaac Vega has another. And really it's about keeping the designer involved in the process from beginning to end, really letting them to a degree be both the game designer and the creative director, and just supporting them with writing help and art direction help and the right artists for the job. And so we really try to bring these tales to life, but also to try to, to support a person's vision.
You really make it sound like the best place to work as a game designer.
It's a good place to work, I think. I like to think.
Great. Well, Colby, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time. This is Plaid Hat Games. So much to offer this year at Gen Con 2017, and of course, we're very happy to see that. We got more coming from Gen Con. Until then, keep playing.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Of course, you can find more videos just like this on our YouTube channel. Also, if you'd like to be one of the first to know anytime we're posting new content, you can subscribe on YouTube or follow us on one of our various social media accounts. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, keep playing.